you could turn that speaker up for the sounds. Yeah. Get started right now. We good? We live? Oh shit. Hey y'all. Here we are again, man. We turned up. It's Media Monday, y'all. Hey, look, welcome to a tough pill to swallow where we dig deep to get to the root. We expose the hidden truth, everything that you want to know about. Today is July the 24th, 2023, and you already know what I'm on.
A whole nother level.
That's right. You dig it. A shout out to the Hustle Live, man. Global Hustle LA, 1111 Network, Media Spill, Cali's Finest Radio, all that jazz. You feel me? Hey, we in this piece. Look, man, it's been a lot of stuff going on over the weekend, and I feel like we got to recap this shit, put it in a nice little bundle and ball, and give it to you just the way you like it, raw. Just like I like to do it with my women. You know what I'm talking about. But listen, firstly, in Media Monday, I have to get to some pressing business. Okay, first off, shout out to digital creator Never Gave Up on YouTube. I happened to come across a video that was rather interesting, and it kind of it shocked me a little bit. Now, I want to talk a little bit in my opening rant about how can I put this, homosexual rappers. A lot of times we're worried about, when we see these rappers and we see these videos and we see these guys cutting up and they got all kinds of women and, ass everywhere. You ask yourself, are these guys the epitome of masculinity? Is this as manly as it gets? And then you come to find out that while they're locked up, they're booed up with another man. Okay, so I'd like to get to FBG Lil J. Now, Never Gave Up. He actually just recently dropped a reaction video, very informative and very telling. Numerous pictures of Lil J, just so you would not mistake that was him. And he actually was caught on camera, caught in 4K or 5K here on A Tough Pill to Swallow, actually choking out his male cohort inside the pen. Come to find out, that was his boo thing. I don't even know how to react to all of this. I just think it's funny. But if you were to ask me if I'm surprised about this, not because it's him personally. I don't know FB Lil J from a hole in the wall. But what I will say is there's a such thing, people, as overcompensation. Whenever you see these guys and they're out in the streets, firstly, I know guys that have done a dime, done 20, 30 years in the pen, never touched anything on that side of the fence, but real niggas. Now, those niggas, they only get aggressive if you press them, if you touch something that belongs to them, if you come at their family, if you threaten their jewels, their riches, their wealth. That's the only time they turn up. These niggas that look at you harder than a woman will look at you on the street, oh yeah, that's that nigga. He probably want to date you. That's probably why he mad dogging you. I'm just keeping it real. That's why you got to watch and keep your head on the swivel. I do it at all times. Okay, I try not to ever get too chummy with dudes. I do a lot of events. When I speak to rappers, I always keep a certain amount of distance in between us because you never know exactly what you're dealing with or who you're dealing with. Listen, I don't have any problem with the LGBT community, but I will say this. If you're a hyper masculine rapper, all right, and then you turn it around and it's saying that you moving this and you doing that, and then the career falls apart, and the next thing we know, you in bright canary yellow lingerie, because it's a dude out there. I think it was one of Gucci Mane's old artists. Just recently, this dude decided to come out. It's happening everywhere. So while you guys sit up there and you guys put these guys on a pedestal, just remember, man, it's just a persona. We got, on the flip side of that, we also have to understand that just the way it looks isn't always the way it is. Let's talk about G Herbo a little bit. That kind of branches off into kind of the same thing. Because G Herbo's paid, and everybody would assume that it comes from G Herbo's music. Then you come to find out that the man been getting paid off scamming this whole time. So you cannot allow yourself to be sucked into the hype when it comes to this industry. You got to be willing to stand on your own too and do it your way. Because when you try to do it their way, they gonna know how to use you and when to use you. And if you think that these artists that keep getting caught in these situations haven't been put in these situations long before they got famous, you're crazy. And that's a fact. That's a tough pill to swallow. Moving right along. Dame Dash. Dame Dash has some interesting comments about R. Kelly. Firstly, R. Kelly coming home, y'all. Now, this might not be a popular opinion, but I've been listening to that nigga's music before the trial, during the trial, and after the trial. I'm not one that falls for the media hype. See, those of us that keep our ear close to the ground, we happen to know that there was a lot of people that stood to gain a lot of things by R. Kelly having to sell his catalog, having to go to prison. Those of us that are educated, if you know, you know. Then when you sit down and you look at the documentary and you see these ladies come forward and not a single one of them can actually produce evidence that he abused them. Not a single one. Now, okay, the underage girls, like, now listen, listen to the man's lyrics in his music. We all knew something was funny with R. Kelly like a long time ago. So if you didn't pick up on them clues, then, but where's the fault in the parents? Where's the fault in these parents that put their daughters up to this man knowing that this man had a problem? And furthermore, what about all of these other people that are, I'll call it pigmentally challenged people that's walking around, that's doing the same thing? That whole island just got exposed not too long ago and nobody's going to jail. And the one man that could have put them all behind bars, where is he? Nigga committed suicide in one place. You can't. Keep your eyes open. That is yet another tough pill to swallow. Now, Dame Dash, back to him. Dame Dash has some interesting comments about R. Kelly. He said, yeah, we know what you did. You belong in jail, and we know what you did to Aaliyah. Nigga, wasn't you with her too? I'm just saying, like, listen, there are certain women in the industry that have been given certain reputations. I saw a video today about Sanaa Lathan and that how, I guess the word around Hollywood is she used up, or, I remember when she got into the whole thing with Denzel Washington, and, they label some of these women because they, entrapped them early on in their career and they wanted to be famous. And so they did what they needed to do. I mean, everybody pictures that skeevy executive bringing them into that hotel room and telling them, hey, you want to be a star, don't you? And like I've said before, it's up to you to make that decision. But they do make that very hard. Dame Dash, you another one of those, though. I remember watching a video of you sitting up there pressuring Lee Daniels to pay you back your money. So let's not act like everything hunky-dory with you. See, I get sick of you successful black men that sit up on the top of the hill thinking you can look down on some of your peers once they go through a little drama and a little trouble, when we really need to be building each other up. I mean, that's a fact. But like I said, I digress. You was with Aaliyah too. All of y'all was bouncing that poor girl around and around. You could tell she was living a precocious lifestyle when she was in the industry. You could tell that older men had their hands on her. You can tell. When you're a parent, you know. So Dame Dash, I would advise you to just be cool and go worry about how you help to blow Jay-Z in the industry and you don't have as much money as he do. Maybe you need to worry about that. You wrong decisions much? Side eye. Moving right along. Tough pill to swallow, goddamn. Let's do it. I tell you, this shit right here trips me out because a new law has been passed. Okay, Chino Hills Valley. Chino Valley Hills or whatever, some well-to-do neighborhood. They just passed a law. Now, I'm going to get a little deep with this right here. The transgender thing is major. right now. It's a big issue, particularly when it comes to the children. So anything that has to do with the children and the transgender community, it's a hot button topic. It's definitely something that everybody by the water cooler is discussing. And I feel like I should give my take on this because I thought this was interesting. They just passed a law stating that the parents in the district have to be notified when a child identifies as transgender. I love it. I love it. Reason being is for the most dire reasons. The bathrooms, the physical altercations between transgender students and biological students, biologically gendered students. There needs to be some kind of parameters. There needs to be some kind of control. I hope that this is something that spreads. This is no shade once again, to the transgender community. No shade whatsoever. I don't want to be canceled. I don't have any problem with it. However, when it comes to little girls should be protected. They should be able to go to the bathroom without fear of someone coming in that identifies one way but carries a fucking stick between their legs. I mean, could you imagine being a little girl in elementary school or in junior high, and you come into the bathroom with your friends to apply your lip gloss, and some person walks in there to use the stall next to you, and they're wearing a dress, however, they're peeing standing up, or you might see something you're not supposed to, or maybe their bathroom etiquette isn't what it should be as a girl. It can be scary. So that is why I feel this is a good law. Not because it creates division, but because it takes the secrecy away. If you're proud of yourself, if you're proud of what you are, of who you are, and where you're going in life and what you've chosen, if you're truly proud of it, then you shouldn't be really worried about it. Much like women that are transgender that want to date straight men, but not tell them that they are transgender. How could you ever expect your movement to be respected if you can't just be honest? If a nigga don't fuck with it, he don't fuck with it. It just is what it is. You're not gonna trick any man into it. Let me explain. Come here. Those of you, real quick, I'm gonna say this one last thing to y'all. Come on, because I don't have no hatred. So those of you in the transsexual community, let me tell you something real quick. I have some cookies and juice. Have a seat. Let me explain something to you. You can never convince a man to like what he don't like, okay? I'm talking about a secure man. So if he chooses to like you, it's because, well, he liked that already. And you gave him something to take comfort in. However, if you don't tell that man and it turns out sideways, I mean, how can we, no violence, of course, we don't condone violence, but how can you tell this man how to feel? Moreover, how can you tell these kids how to feel when they're exposed to certain things? When you've got a girl next to you in the next running lane running track with more hair on your legs than half the men in the stands, that can bother you. Just another tough pill to swallow. Now, I think something's funny. This is a really tough pill to swallow. Those of us who grew up like in the 80s, Disneyland used to be the thing. Used to love Disneyland, man. Go there. Yeah, they used to have, when I was growing up, they had the Disney dollars, you could ride all the rides, as much as you wanted. It was fun. It was, I didn't realize till I got older how much more expensive it was. However, Disneyland has always had some racial undertones. Always. The owner, Walt Disney, well, firstly, let's back up a second. Now, one of the most classic rides there is Splash Mountain. I used to love Splash Mountain. There's certain rides, when you're growing up at amusement parks that you develop, an affinity for. One of those was the dinosaur ride at Knott's Berry Farm. We used to love that ride because it was nice and slow, right? The music was real low. You take the females on the ride, you finger blast them, you do what you got to do. It was fun. We had fun. We was kids, We enjoyed ourselves. I digress. But Splash Mountain was one of my more fun rides, too. I mean, I used to finger blast girls on that ride too. I'm starting to wonder if I had a problem back then. But anyway, so Splash Mountain was fun. Splash Mountain is actually about to be destroyed by Disneyland. They're about to tear it down, and they're building, in the essence of that ride, it's going to be called Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Those of y'all don't know who Tiana is. That's that Princess in the Frog movie to create a Disney princess that we never fucking asked for in the first place, but we accepted it because there was no other black Disney princesses. So we accepted it, right? Now, she's gonna get her own ride, okay? Oh, keep in mind, she ended up with a white dude at the end of the movie. I just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, so they're building that ride for her, right, in her honor, and there's been some problems on the demolition set to tear down the ride. And there's like this thing going on in TikTok, there's some viral videos, and they're saying that the ride is haunted. Like, supposedly they're pulling copper wire out the walls. Feels like somebody's on the other end holding on to the wire. There's been an explosion, a fire while they've been tearing it down. I don't really give a shit. As long as nobody's been hurt, I don't give a shit. But the reason why this is concerning to me is because before we address the ghosts in Splash Mountain, let's go ahead and address the ghosts of Walt Disney and his racist organization. And let's also expose exactly how his people were anti-Semitic, how there was lots of racial discrimination in the park, how Disneyland supported segregation for a very, very long time, okay? And how it was never meant for us in the first place. But because niggas gonna do what niggas do, we wanna do what the white men do too. So we decided we wanna make that one of our pastimes. Instead of go build us an Africa land or something, we just had to go to Disneyland. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, I did it too. I enjoyed it as a kid. I took my son to Disneyland. But before we get to sinking ourselves in the lore and the history and it's so classic and oh my God, they're taking away Splash Mountain. Look, firstly, like I said, it wasn't meant for us in the first place. So get over it. I don't give a shit if they tear the whole damn park down. If I had the head of Walt Disney here right now, I'd open up that frozen casket and piss right in that motherfucker. I don't need that nigga. You don't either. Stay your own, get your own. It's another tough pill to swallow. Now, moving right along. The $1 billion lottery ticket has just been sold. This tripped me out. Now, this whole story tripped me out because you had this woman and she's going crazy. They did the Channel 4 News, I think it was. They covered this. This woman's going crazy. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Hands up, praising the Lord. Thank you so much. You have blessed me so much. You see bewildered and puzzled looks on everybody in the liquor store. Now, this was in a store in downtown LA. Now, I want y'all, look, come close. Look, let me tell y'all something, okay? I think, and this is just my theory, I think that the California state government, I think they just heisted the lottery. Like, I really think so. Like, I think that they set this up because, let me explain. So, firstly, the news story was woman claims to have won $1 billion, the Powerball. Not that she won. That's one. 2, the puzzled looks on everybody in the store. 3, the lottery commission actually came out and they said, well, until we verify the winner, we can't say that she is the winner. But somebody won in that location. Does that make sense to you? Now, let's not forget that the lottery, for those of y'all who are younger, y'all might not know this, but when the lottery was created, the lottery was actually supposed to be for the children. It was money that the state was going to raise to pour back into schools. And somewhere along the line, that just disappeared. And so from time to time, I think they pull these kinds of things just to that's $1 billion, people. That's $1 billion. Now, even though you can get the monthly checks, or you can take the lump sum. So you think about that for a second. With that lump sum, what percentage of that lump sum after taxes you're going to get of $1 billion? You're still going to be set pretty much for the rest of your life. And last I checked in California, man, it's higher than giraffe coochie to live here. So you have to make sure that you making a certain amount. Now, there was a winner. We just don't know who the hell the winner is. Now they keep them secret because people get knocked in the head. But for the lottery commission to say, "Hey, we don't know who won," and now the store owner that the person won in the store, he just said he's taking his family on a vacation around the world because we do know that the store that sells the winning ticket, they get $1 million. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. That shit is crazy. But listen, we're going to go to a short commercial break, man. We're going to run some of this music by you, all right? And stay right where you are. This is a tough pill to swallow with 5 stacks, baby. We'll be